Greetings, this is Darth Vader here, and if you've never seen the show Monk, I highly recommend that you watch it. It is quite an interesting show. It used to air on the USA Network several years ago until it ended, but it's the ending that I have the complaint about. I feel as though the writers could have done a better job in how this show ended. Monk had a wife named Trudy, and the ending totally destroyed her character as well as her parents' characters, and I think that could have been done better. But before I discuss the ending, I need to explain to you how the show works and what it's about. Think Sherlock Holmes with crippling depression. That's basically what Monk is. So he was a police detective for several years until his wife was killed in a car bomb. This caused him to spiral into deep depression, and it made his OCD, which he already had from his childhood, even worse. Now, his OCD got so bad that he basically did not want to leave the house and can't function without an assistant at his side handing him wipes after he touches anything. His first assistant was Sharona, and then after that, his new assistant was Natalie. And part of the comedy of the show was watching his assistants be annoyed at some of his childish behaviors because he just couldn't get over himself. For example, if he were to shake someone's hand while investigating a witness, he would then ask his assistant for a wipe immediately after shaking someone's hand. He could only go to theater number 10 and he could only walk 2 steps at a time. He had severe OCD that was so bad that he couldn't even function. Because, of course, after his wife was killed in the car bomb, he stopped being a police officer for a long time, and then he later came back as basically a private investigator who would follow the bad guy around and mark all of his steps and investigate what he's doing, point out the flaws in the bad guy's plan to the police to help the police catch him. Again, Sherlock Holmes minus sanity plus OCD, and that is basically what Monk is. A lot of the comedy surrounds watching his antics and how his OCD is ruining things. For example, he was playing a chess game against a guy, and he couldn't even continue the game because he had to stop and clean all of the opponent's chess pieces, and you're meant to just sit there and laugh at that. But the laughter stops when you get to the ending of the show, because he does finally solve his wife's murder after being obsessed with it for pretty much the entire run of the show. And you could see this in certain ways. For example, whenever the case involved a man whose wife was murdered, he would take that case extra seriously. His condition would get extra depressed or severe in those particular episodes. But the way the show basically ends is we find out who and why Trudy, Monk's wife, was killed. So Monk's wife Trudy basically had a baby by a man before she ever met Monk. And she never told Monk about this. The man with whom she had that baby was a judge by the name of Ethan Rickover, a judge who actually oversaw a lot of the cases where Monk had the bad guy arrested. But unfortunately, the judge did not want this affair and this love child to be exposed, so he killed Trudy to have it covered up. He finds out about Trudy and the judge. He finds out that he has a secret stepdaughter somewhere, and he finds out that the judge is guilty. So in the ending, he basically catches the judge, and the judge gets cornered and commits suicide. But this ending destroys Trudy's character, and that's what I don't like. If Trudy had a child before she met Monk, wouldn't it be on her to be honest with him and say, hey, if you marry me, kids are going to be part of this equation? Why did she never take care of her child? Why did she never step up and take responsibility? It makes her out to be scum. Frankly, it makes her out to be a woman that Monk did not deserve, but he wasted his time trying to gain the affection of a woman who was ultimately not worthy of him. And why didn't Trudy's parents ever tell Monk? Surely they would have noticed their daughter being pregnant. I don't think that's something parents would miss. It seems like Monk married a scumbag, someone who truly wasn't worth avenging in the first place, and to me that undermines the fundamental premise of the show and makes it harder to enjoy it. A better ending would have been if it was found out that the judge was having an affair with someone else, and Trudy was going to expose that, and that's why she got killed. That would have actually made sense. But to basically make Monk a side character in his own life, I felt was unworthy of such a terrific character. And that is why I hated the ending of Monk. Let me know what you think in the comments below.